She was born with nothing, no wealth, no protection, no guarantee that tomorrow would be easier than today. Her parents were once enslaved. She entered the world just after freedom, but freedom did not mean opportunity. She lost her parents early, worked long hours as a child, and struggled just to survive. At one point, her life was defined by exhaustion, loss, and a quiet question: is this all life has to offer? But from that hardship, something unexpected began to grow. A problem she faced every day became the beginning of an idea that would not only change her life, but open doors for thousands of others. This is the story of Madam C.J. Walker, a woman who turned pain into purpose, who built success step by step, and who proved that where you start does not decide where you finish. As this story unfolds, you'll hear about patience, resilience, and the power of building something meaningful without waiting for permission. And if stories like this inspire you, stories of real struggle and real success, you're in the right place. This is Success Avenue, where we share journeys that remind us you don't need privilege to build impact. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Born after freedom. She was born in 1867, just a few years after slavery ended in America. On paper, she was free. In reality, life was still harsh. Her parents had been enslaved. Freedom did not bring them wealth, safety, or comfort. It only brought uncertainty. They worked hard, but work did not always mean stability. She was born into extreme poverty. There was no land, no savings, no protection from hunger or illness. From the beginning, survival mattered more than dreams. Her name was Madam C.J. Walker, though at that time, no one could imagine the name she would one day carry. Her early life was fragile. Food was not always enough. Comfort was rare. Security was almost unknown. And then, tragedy came early. She lost her mother while still very young. Soon after, her father was gone too. She became an orphan as a child. There was no gentle transition, no time to grieve. Life demanded strength immediately. She was sent to live with relatives, but safety did not follow her there. She learned early that freedom did not mean fairness, that survival depended on endurance. While other children played, she learned responsibility. While others dreamed, she learned how to get through the day. Her childhood was shaped by loss, by labor, by silence. Yet something quiet lived inside her. Not hope in the way stories often describe it, but awareness, an understanding that life was hard and that she would have to be strong to survive it. This was not a story that began with opportunity. It began with endurance. And in a world that offered her very little, she learned the first lesson of her life. Freedom alone is not enough. Opportunity must be built. Chapter 2. Growing up too fast. Losing her parents changed everything. She was still a child, but childhood ended quickly. With nowhere else to go, she was sent to live with relatives. They gave her a place to stay, but not comfort. Life in that home was strict, often harsh. There was little kindness, little understanding. She was expected to work, to obey, to stay quiet. At an age when children should feel safe, she learned fear. At an age when children should play, she learned labor. Her days were filled with chores, physical work, long hours that left her tired and silent. She learned that rest was not guaranteed, that effort did not always bring care in return. The world felt heavy on her shoulders. She watched other children laugh and play. She watched from a distance. Her life was different. Responsibility came before joy. Survival came before dreams. She did not complain. There was no one to listen. Instead, she endured. Pain became familiar. So did discipline. Each day taught her how to keep going, even when she felt unseen. Her hands grew strong early. Her spirit learned restraint. This was not cruelty without meaning. It shaped her. She learned how to carry weight, how to move forward without support, how to survive without praise. Some lives begin with choices. Hers began with responsibility, and though it hardened her days, it also built something inside her: endurance, a quiet strength that would later carry her through even harder challenges. Chapter 3: Marriage, Motherhood, and Survival. As she grew older, the pressure around her did not ease. Life with relatives became harder. The environment was unsafe. The control was heavy. She needed a way out. So, very young, she made a decision that many in her position made. She married, not out of romance, not out of dreams, but out of survival. Marriage felt like an escape, a chance to leave a painful home, a chance to build something more stable. Soon after, she became a mother. Holding her child changed her world. For the first time, she was responsible for another life. Fear became real, but so did purpose. She worked harder, endured more, pushed herself further. Then life struck again. Her husband died early. Suddenly, she was alone, a young widow, a single mother, with no safety net. There was no time to fall apart. Her child needed food, shelter, care. So she did what she had to do. She worked long hours, took on difficult jobs, accepted exhaustion as normal. Every day was a test. Some days, fear followed her closely. Fear of hunger, fear of illness, fear of not being enough. But she kept moving. Determination replaced comfort. Responsibility replaced rest. She did not ask why life was unfair. She asked how to survive it. In silence, she learned one of life's hardest lessons. Survival often demands difficult decisions, and strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply showing up again and again when quitting would be easier. This was the season of her life where fear and determination lived side by side, and determination slowly began to win. Chapter 4: Life as a washerwoman. To survive, she took the work that was available. She became a washerwoman. It was hard, physical labor, day after day. She washed other people's clothes by hand, bent over tubs of water, scrubbing until her fingers burned. The work started early. It ended late. For all that effort, the pay was small. Every coin mattered. Most of her money went to food. Rent came next. There was rarely anything left. Life was lived hand to mouth. If work slowed, so did meals. If illness came, fear followed. Her body grew tired. Her hands stayed sore. Rest was a luxury she could not afford. Yet, even in the exhaustion, something inside her stayed awake. She noticed the lives around her, the homes she entered, the comfort others lived with. She did not feel anger. She felt awareness. Hard work, she saw, did not always lead to opportunity. Many worked just as hard as she did and stayed in the same place for years. This realization was quiet but powerful. At night, when the day finally slowed, she allowed herself to imagine more. Not riches, not fame, just a better life. A life where effort could create change, where work could lead somewhere new. Hope did not erase her exhaustion, but it gave her direction. She understood that survival was not enough. She wanted progress, and even while washing clothes, even while counting coins, she carried a simple belief: there had to be another way. Chapter 5: A personal problem sparks an idea. During those years of hard labor, her body paid a price, and so did her health. She began to suffer from severe hair and scalp problems. Her hair started falling out. Her scalp became painful and irritated. This was not unusual. Many Black women faced the same issue: harsh living conditions, poor nutrition, and no proper hair care options. But at that time, there were almost no real solutions, no products made for their needs, no guidance, no understanding. For her, the problem was personal. Hair loss affected more than appearance. It affected confidence, dignity, how she felt about herself. At first, she felt frustration. Why was this happening? Why was there no help? But slowly, frustration changed into curiosity. She began to ask questions. Why were so many women struggling with the same problem? Why did no one talk about it openly? Why did solutions not exist? Instead of hiding the issue, she studied it. She listened to other women, shared experiences, compared symptoms. She paid attention. Pain made her aware. Awareness led to interest. She realized something important. This was not just her problem. It was a shared struggle. And where many people struggle, there is often an opportunity, not for profit alone, but for purpose. She didn't have answers yet. She didn't have resources, but she had curiosity, and curiosity changed how she saw her situation. This problem was no longer just a burden. It was a question waiting to be solved, and quietly, without knowing it yet, she had reached a turning point. Because sometimes the thing that hurts us most is the thing that shows us what we are meant to build. Chapter 6. Learning, experimenting, believing. Once the idea took hold, she did not rush. She began to learn. She listened to other women, asked questions, paid attention to what helped and what didn't. She studied home remedies, old methods, anything she could find. There were no books guiding her, no experts waiting to teach. So she learned by doing. She mixed simple ingredients, tested them carefully, used the products on herself first. Some attempts failed. The results were disappointing, sometimes painful, sometimes useless. But she did not stop. Each failure taught her something. What irritated the scalp? What made things worse? What showed even a small sign of improvement? Progress was slow. There were moments of doubt. Was this worth the effort? Would anything ever work? But belief stayed with her, not loud belief, not confidence without reason, a quiet belief built on effort. She understood that learning takes time, that real solutions are not found quickly. So she kept going, testing, adjusting, trying again. Little by little, something began to change. Her scalp improved. Her hair started to return. The difference was real. For the first time, she saw proof. This wasn't luck. This wasn't a one-time result. It was progress. That moment mattered because it showed her something important. Persistence works, not all at once, not easily, but steadily. What started as pain had become practice. What started as doubt had become belief. She was no longer just surviving a problem. She was learning how to solve it, and that belief, earned through patience, would carry her into the next stage of her life. Chapter 7. Becoming Madam C.J. Walker. As her knowledge grew, so did her confidence. Around this time, she married Charles Joseph Walker. With this marriage came a new name and a new sense of identity. She chose to call herself Madam C.J. Walker. The word Madam was not accidental. It carried weight, respect, authority. At a time when women, especially Black women, were rarely taken seriously in business, she chose a title that demanded attention. This was not about pride. It was about presence. She understood something important. If the world did not give you respect, sometimes you had to claim it. She began to rebrand herself, not just her products, but her voice. She dressed with intention, spoke with confidence, carried herself like a leader. Inside, she was still learning, still growing, but outwardly, she stepped forward with belief. This shift mattered. People listened differently. They asked questions. They paid attention. She was no longer just a washerwoman with an idea. She was a businesswoman with a solution. Taking on this identity changed how she saw herself. She was not waiting for permission anymore, not waiting to be chosen. She chose herself. Leadership did not arrive suddenly. It was built through courage, through decision, through action. Becoming Madam C.J. Walker was not the end of her struggle, but it was the beginning of her authority. She had stepped into who she believed she could become, and that belief would soon turn into momentum. Chapter 8. Selling door to door. With belief in her product, she took the next step. She went door to door. There were no stores waiting for her, no easy paths into the market. So she became the market. She carried her products herself, walked from house to house, knocked on doors one by one. Many doors did not open. Some people were unsure. Some were doubtful. Some said no without listening. Rejection became part of the routine. Racism made it harder. There were looks of judgment, moments of disrespect. Times she was dismissed before she spoke, but she stayed calm. She did not argue. She did not rush. Instead, she explained. She talked about the problem. She demonstrated the product. She showed results. She educated women who had never been offered solutions before. Each conversation taught her something: what people cared about, what questions mattered, what built trust. She learned that selling was not about pressure. It was about understanding. Face to face, she built relationships. Some women became customers, others became supporters, some became believers in her vision. Slowly, word began to spread, not through advertising, but through experience. She learned sales by doing, by listening, by adjusting. Every step strengthened her. Every rejection sharpened her resilience. She realized something important. Growth does not happen from a distance. It begins face to face, one conversation at a time, one door at a time. And with each door she knocked on, she was not just selling a product. She was building confidence in herself and in what she was creating. Chapter 9. Building a business, not just a product. As demand grew, she began to see something clearly. This was no longer just about one product. It was about building a system. Selling door to door worked, but it had limits. If she wanted to help more women, the work had to grow beyond her alone. So she began to think bigger. She focused on structure. She organized production, improved consistency, paid close attention to quality. Every product had to work. Every promise had to be real. Trust mattered more than speed. She also began training other women, not just to sell, but to understand. She taught them how to care for hair and scalp, how to explain the process, how to carry themselves with confidence. These women were not treated as workers only. They were treated as partners. Many of them had never earned their own income before. Many had never been taught business skills. Now, they were learning both. She built a company around education, around opportunity, around dignity. Slowly, a structure formed: production, sales, training, support. This was no longer a small operation. It was a growing business, and at the center of it was discipline. She stayed focused on quality, refused shortcuts, protected the trust she had built. She understood something important. A good product can start a journey, but only a system can carry it forward. Systems create scale, and with every step of growth, she proved that vision, when paired with discipline, can turn effort into impact. Chapter 10. Empowering thousands of women. What began as survival had now become impact. The business was growing, but something more powerful was happening alongside it. Women were changing. She trained thousands of Black women, not just in selling products, but in believing in themselves. For many, this was the first time they earned their own money. The first time they were financially independent. The first time they stood tall in front of others with confidence. These women learned skills. They learned discipline. They learned that their work had value. Income brought stability, but dignity brought transformation. The business became more than profit. It became empowerment. Women supported their families, paid rent, sent children to school. They no longer depended on permission to survive. Confidence spread from one woman to another. Training turned into leadership. Sales turned into ownership. She didn't just build a company. She built a movement, a system that lifted others instead of using them. Her success was no longer measured by numbers alone. It was measured by lives changed, by voices strengthened, by futures rewritten. She understood the real meaning of success. True success is not how high you rise, it's how many people rise with you. And through her work, thousands of women proved one truth: when opportunity meets belief, empowerment becomes unstoppable. Chapter 11. Wealth with responsibility. Success finally arrived, not slowly, not quietly. She became extremely wealthy, more than she had ever imagined. From a woman who washed clothes to survive, she became one of the richest self-made women of her time. But wealth did not change who she was. It reminded her of where she came from. She remembered hunger. She remembered loss. She remembered being invisible. Money to her was not a prize. It was a tool. She used her wealth to support education. She helped young people learn and grow. She funded schools, programs, and opportunities. She believed knowledge was power. She also supported civil rights. She stood behind causes that fought injustice. She gave money where voices were being silenced. When others stayed quiet, she chose to act. She understood that success meant responsibility, not just to herself, but to her community. She never forgot the women she trained, the doors she once knocked on, the rejection she once faced. Her roots kept her grounded. Even at the top, she looked back and reached down. Wealth did not make her distant. It made her purposeful. She knew money could build walls or open doors. She chose doors. Doors to education, doors to dignity, doors to a future that once felt impossible. Her life sent a clear message. Wealth is not a trophy to display. It is a tool to use. And when used with gratitude and responsibility, it can change more than one life. It can change a generation. Chapter 12. Criticism, pressure, and strength. Success did not bring peace. It brought pressure. As her business grew, so did the noise around her. People criticized her. Some questioned her methods. Some said she was too bold. Others said she did not deserve her success. Competition increased. New products appeared. Rivals tried to copy her work or pull her down. Leadership was heavy. Thousands of women depended on her. Employees looked to her for direction. Every decision mattered. Mistakes could affect many lives. The pressure was constant, but she did not react with anger. She did not waste energy fighting every voice. Instead, she stayed focused. She returned to her values: hard work, honesty, service. She believed her actions would speak louder than words. There were moments of doubt, moments when the weight felt too heavy, moments when quitting would have been easier. But she remembered her journey. She had survived poverty. She had survived loss. She had survived rejection. This was just another test. She continued building quietly, improving her products, supporting her women, strengthening her system. She did not chase approval. She chased purpose. Criticism did not stop her growth. Pressure did not break her focus. Instead, they shaped her strength. She learned that winning attention is easy, but staying true is hard, and she chose the harder path. Her story reminds us, real strength is not loud. It does not argue with every voice. It stays steady. It stays honest. It keeps moving forward, even when the world is watching. Chapter 13. Legacy Beyond Money. In 1919, Madam C.J. Walker passed away. She was only 51 years old, but her story did not end there. She left behind more than a business, more than money, more than products. She left behind possibility. She proved that where you start does not decide where you finish, that poverty does not cancel potential, that gender and race do not define limits. She had been born with nothing. No privilege, no connections, no safety net. Yet she built something that changed lives. Her company continued. Her schools continued. Her trained women carried her work forward. Most important of all, her ideas lived on. She showed that success can be built with purpose, that business can serve people, not just profit, that growth can include dignity and care. She did not measure success by speed. She measured it by impact. She did not build only for herself. She built for those who came after her. Long after her passing, her story continued to inspire entrepreneurs who feel invisible, women who feel overlooked, people who believe they started too late or too small. She became a symbol that courage matters, that patience matters, that values matter. Her life became a blueprint. Work hard, solve real problems, lift others as you rise. Stay true, even when it's difficult. She showed the world something powerful. You don't need privilege to leave impact. You need purpose. You need belief. You need courage to begin. Money fades, titles fade, but legacy lives on, and hers still speaks today. Lesson for us. Madam C.J. Walker's life leaves us with lessons that feel quiet, but stay with us for a long time. She reminds us that where you start is not where you must end. She was born into loss and struggle. Nothing was handed to her. Still, she kept moving forward. If your beginning feels unfair, it does not mean your future is limited. Her journey also teaches us to notice problems, not trends, not shortcuts. Her idea came from her own pain. She paid attention to what others ignored. Often, purpose hides inside everyday struggles. She shows us that patience matters. Growth did not happen quickly for her. She failed. She tried again and again. Progress came slowly because strong things take time. Her confidence was not given, it was built. She chose how to see herself, even when the world saw her as small. Belief is not something you wait for, it is something you practice. Her success was never only about money, it was about people. She grew and she helped others grow with her. That is the difference between success and impact. She understood that wealth is a responsibility, not a prize. She used what she earned to educate, support, and uplift. She never forgot where she came from. And through it all, she stayed steady. No loud promises, no shortcuts, no need to prove herself, just consistent work, clear values, and purpose. Her life teaches us something simple. You don't need privilege to create change. You don't need noise to be powerful. You only need courage, patience, and care for others. That is how real legacy is built, slowly, honestly, and with meaning. Madam C.J. Walker's story reminds us of something important. Great journeys do not always begin with comfort. They begin with courage. Her life shows us that pain can turn into purpose, that struggle can become strength, and that one person, starting with very little, can still change thousands of lives. If you are listening to this today and feeling stuck, tired, or unseen, remember her story. She did not wait for permission. She did not wait for perfect conditions. She started with what she had, and she kept going. At Success Avenue, we share stories like this for one reason: to remind you that success is not just about money, fame, or speed. It is about direction. It is about values, and it is about impact. If this story made you think, if it gave you even a small spark of hope, then it has done its job. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for listening till the end. Your time matters. And remember this as you move forward. You don't need to be born powerful to become powerful. You don't need a perfect start to create a meaningful finish. Keep learning, keep believing, and keep walking your own avenue to success. We'll see you in the next story.